I just have this can full of words I've written down on sticky notes that I seem to have a hard time defining, and others as well in my experience. And so the idea is I pick one for you since we're not in real life. I pick one for you, and you can either define it or tell us what it means to you or talk about it however you'd like. This is a good one for you, James. The word I picked for you was holistic.
Oh, I like that. Holistic, natural remedies.
Natural remedies. Uh, you probably hear this word in your profession a lot, don't you?
Yes, quite often. And me as a massage therapist, I don't use it. I am not the typical massage therapist that tends to use vocabulary to entice their clients to come back for more. It's
Oh,
it's more about the promotion of the body to help it move more freely, so that the individual can overcome whatever ails them physically.
so
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So are you saying that the word holistic is used to entice others uh to like return more often, or is that
Um, I'm, I just, from what I've heard, the sales pitch from other therapists, they use those kind of holistic kind of terminologies in a mannerism to, I guess, promote them as massage therapists as the conduit for them to be getting better. When it's all about the client. They're getting better on their own. I'm just aiding them to move more freely. And I'm talking about physical. I'm talking about just soft tissue manipulation.
uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't want to dive into too much of it, but holistic to me is like natural remedies, getting better through the natural processes, and not using any kind of unnatural like chemicals or medicines.
Uh-huh.
I guess you could say stuff grown from the earth would be holistic medicine, right?
Oh, yeah, I
Or am
guess.
I, am I thinking outside too much?
The way I've always thought of it is like kind of taking the holistic is kind of like taking a step back and looking at, the whole system instead of just focusing on one area. And so maybe having a strategy, uh, say like in the context you might be using, like strategy of looking at the whole body as one big system and coming up with strategies that improve health from that approach instead of, like if my liver hurts, uh, focusing on the liver instead of a more holistic might be, well, let's figure out what's causing this problem with the liver and see if we can kind of manage that a little bit better. I don't know. Have you heard of holistic in those terms?
Uh, Not exactly, but however, that's a good analogy of it. I would kind of like if I heard you say that, like you just did, it makes sense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, David and James, that's how I hear. I'm gonna try to say this in a nice way. I almost consider holistic care synonymous with bullshit because seriously, like people use it so overarchingly, like they're trying to act like, for instance, like here's a good use of holistic care as a term. James, you're a physical therapist. Someone comes into you and says, I'm getting leg cramps every time I go running. Like, I guess, yeah, you could try to bilk them and like give them a massage every single day that they go running and like try to solve their problem. Or you could be like, hey, do you eat bananas very often? Like, technically, that's holistic care, making sure you're getting enough potassium to not get leg cramps
Right,
from that,
Right.
right?
right.
Or
Yeah,
how much water do you drink every day?
yeah. I'm always recommending, not just drinking water, but electrolytes. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so
So Dave,
that's
you wouldn't agree with what David said about holistic as not looking at like the source of
Mhm.
the issue, like the
Okay.
focus on the liver, but focus on the whole body?
My only qualm with what David said about holistic care is it was just, in my opinion, a little dangerously skirting the line to like the hucksters use of the word holistic, like what's his face, the Deepak Chopra's use of the word holistic, or homeopathy uses the word holistic
yeah, yeah,
often,
Right,
right?
right.
yeah.
Like, and so like I didn't feel like I heard a line between what David said and that, and like that was my only real qualm between it. Like, and that's why I would say holistic care is like, honestly, probably best defined as like the belief that that we have a better view of how to provide care by taking the step back, and oftentimes natural remedies are preferred over what's quote unquote synthetic. And
Hmm.
even that's a fuzzy line. Like, that's honestly as close I can get to a good definition without literally getting so mean as to say I consider it synonymous with literal BS until you prove otherwise. You
Yeah.
you got to make yourself a good actor before you get to use the holistic word with me.
It sounds like you've got some association of the word holistic with the kind of um, alternative medicine um, kind of
Well,
ideas.
I mean, they're the ones that primarily use the word holistic. In my
Yeah.
experience, I live in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe your mileage varies where you're from, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
woo
like if
land out here, man.
I'm like 30 miles away from you, so I I hear you for sure. Um, so like if if you were to go to like your say your general practitioner, which is that word kind of sounds more like holistic in the literal sense, but if you were to go to your general practitioner and it said holistic medicine on the door, it sounds like you'd be pretty skeptical about what, you know, the type of care you're going to receive. Would that
Well,
be
yeah.
would yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm a father of young kids, right? So, like, when we were going around for pediatricians, it was kind of scary to me how many, like, our Washington State considers a naturopath. I forget what it's not an MDA. It's not an MD. It's another designation. At any rate, they consider them
It's
basically to
it's
be equal.
ND, naturopathic doctor, I think.
And yeah, thank you. They consider them to be equal, like in terms of pediatrician care, but like that's really problematic to me. And so when I learned that like our initial pediatrician had gotten that degree, I was she knew I was super skeptical, and like I was freaking grilling her, and she was like, I'm picking up that you're not liking the naturopath thing. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I'm glad you picked up on that. And she was like, yeah, just know that like I like science. You should get your kid vaccinated. Like here's all the truth. And like it's just it turned out to be way way cheaper for me to get this degree, and like it meant the same thing for me in terms of like being able to have a career. So like, please don't hold it against me. I believe in science. Here's all my credentials. I was like, okay, fine. Like I'm not gonna cross you off the list for it, but like you raise my eyebrow so high, it might as well be part of my freaking hairline.
Hmm. And the term holistic kind of helps add to that skepticism.
It's just a yellow flag to me. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't automatically put you into danger. It's just like you raise my eyebrow when you use the word holistic, like you do so more when you use the word naturopath. Hopefully that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. I like that term, yellow flag. Uh, that's great.
It's a soccer term. Yeah, I used it for
Yeah, yeah.
soccer.
Well, yellow card. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like there's the red card, right? That's
Right.
get the
That's
fuck out of the
ejection.
game, kid, you
Yeah.
asshole.
And
And
two
there's a
yellow
yellow,
cards is
like
a red
you get
card, I
one
think.
warning, do it
Yeah.
again, then get the hell out of the game, asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add here, holism for me, holistic,
Hmm.
it's spelled incorrectly. It should be WH because it's not about holes, like an empty hole. It's about whole, meaning the whole body, whole mind, etc. And it's also meant to be in contrast to reductionism, which, as I see it, is a pretty failed system.
Is there a non-medical definition of holistic that we could maybe explore? Like, is holistic always medical?
Well, it could be preventative maintenance, not necessarily medical, just like living a holistic lifestyle to keep yourself in the healthy homeostasis balance, So it's kind of like what I did in the military when I wasn't practicing working as an EMT was doing preventive maintenance for equipment that supported the aircrafts and the flight lines. So like, even though it ain't broke, sometimes we had to fix it, just to prevent it from breaking down.
Mm. Hmm. And so maintenance is, generally speaking, could be seen as a holistic approach.
Right, like eating healthy foods, keeping yourself away from environments that may not be conducive for your well-being. Like if you can't handle stressful situations, maybe avoid those. All encompassing, just maintaining a good lifestyle to keep you on a healthy path, I guess would be a good
Mm.
way to put it. However, that could still be considered medical, right? I guess I don't know. Might be a slippery slope. It's just funny how when you start talking and the more you talk, the more you realize, wait a minute, I'm going back in circles.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the more you travel around the earth, the more you get back home, right?
That's right.